morning and welcome to Little Workroom Crafts. My name is Davina and I live in the southeast coast of the UK. Today is Wednesday the 22nd of April and it is 9:30 in the morning, so bright and early. And it's episode 16. Okay, so I have got quite a bit to talk about today, so I think we'll just hop right in. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody, my family, my friends, for the beautiful birthday wishes that I got. I got some lovely presents and lovely messages, absolutely lovely, and I do appreciate every one of them, and I've taken them all to heart. It is absolutely lovely. I really didn't expect all that, I really didn't. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And the photograph at the beginning of this one, you'll see that I got a beautiful Emma Bridgewater, because I've started collecting Emma Bridgewater teapot that my daughter got me, and the canvas of the sheep that's down near my rocking chair in my dining room, and yeah, and lots of other bits which I'm going to show you, all my crafty bits, and well, just thank you so much. Okay, so let's go on to what I've finished. I've got a couple of items done. I've got some works in progress, and I've got a couple of ideas of stuff that I'm gonna start as well. So, and also I've got a question from a lady that I'll answer at the end. Okay then, let's get going. So I have actually made a pair of shorty socks, all finished. The pattern on them is absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed knitting these, I will say, and they're good. Obviously shorties are a good way of using up all your bits and bobs, and I think I got a pretty good match actually on them, on the stripes. So I'm quite pleased with that. The pattern is the Downtown Shorties, and it's supposed to represent the where did I read it? Yeah, downtown Toronto, the skyscrapers, and it's by Christine Gladwell, Sweet Lavender Knits, and I got this off of Ravelry, and I will say absolutely brilliant pattern. Thoroughly enjoyed following it, and I actually did follow this one right down to the T, actually, right, yeah. And she does give, which I did find very interesting, a couple of toes to finish off, so which I thought was very good. I would definitely recommend this pattern. The yarn I used, now I'm going to be completely honest with you, I did enjoy knitting with this one, but it's a James Brett, the funny, is it Funny Feet? Yeah, Funny Feet. Now this one does have a bamboo in it. Now James Brett brought out a sock yarn middle of last year, beginning of last year. I brought a couple of balls from work to give it a go. Would say no, I wouldn't recommend that one at all, the first one. But the James Brett with the bamboo in, I did actually enjoy knitting, and I would get this one again. So it is shade FZB05, and you get the 400 meters for 100 grams, and it's 50%, oh right, okay, 50% superwash wool, 25% of your polyamide, and 25% of the bamboo. And the bamboo with this company does make a difference. As I say, I would buy this one, but I would not buy their original. And the heel and the toe are just bits and bobs. I know this one is definitely a bit of West Yorkshire Spinners, and I'm not too sure about where I've got this one from. It could be the same, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed knitting these, and I would actually do this pattern in a long sock. Again, I really would, because it was just a pleasure to knit. So yeah, thoroughly enjoy that. Would definitely recommend them. Also, quite excited, I've been really excited to show you all these. If you remember last episode, I showed you a photograph of what I was doing with my cross stitch of the sheep with the hexagons going around the outside. Well, I've got it. It worked. It came out of my head. And sometimes they don't work, but this one did. And I am so pleased. And I made a project bag. So this is the part that you see on the photograph, the hexagons. At the back, I have put a pocket for my notebook and pens. And the inside, I did make a DPN cozy. And on the inside, I have got a pocket. And oh yeah, this is what Anita from Gaga Knits sent me, so I keep that in there. And I also made a little notions pouch, and and I'm really pleased. I had many years ago, a friend of Glenn's gave me a big piece of leather, and I've never really thought of what I could do with it, and I thought, I'm going to treat myself with this bit of leather and cut the handles, which really goes with the colour. But I'm so pleased with the way that this bag has turned out. I really am, and I can't wait to use it now, because I haven't been using it, because I want to show you while I'm actually on the subject of, let's have a look, of the sorry about that, of the bag. Inside I have obviously a little tin, which we always collect tins, don't we? And I brought online some little coloured rubber rings for stitch markers. Let's see if I can get a few out. Ooh. And for the life of me, it's gone of who I got them from. I'll put it down on the screen. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll put it on the screen. Let me pop them in there. There was absolutely loads. These were just a handful. And little rubber rings. I like the rubber rings because I find that they actually cling more to the needle as you're transferring over. And I normally do, like, say for instance, when I've got my socks and I'm doing the gusset, for say, because I knit on the mini circulars, I will have one of me posh, what I call me trendy stitch markers at the beginning, and a rubber one at the other side, so I know when to go round either side, when to decrease. But I definitely will put the company down, because I will say they were very quick in you know, their postage, even with the times that are what they are now. And I got some little free light bulbs stitch markers as well. But as I say, this is only a handful. They were very reasonably priced, and I would definitely recommend them. So they are from the UK, but yeah, definitely recommend them. So I treated myself to those. But yeah, it's my in there, and all done up, and then in my little bag with the pocket on the outside. I might be doing the pocket on the outside actually on some of my others, because I think, you know, it's handy to have your little book and that on the outside, isn't it? And your pen. It's my Yarndale pen I got. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the way this has turned out. So okay, now I've got those out the way, I am going to go on to my works in progress actually, and then the birthday presents and that I will show in a bit. Okay, so work in progress. Now where do I start? I haven't done any more of my shawl at the moment. That has actually just been put by to sleep at the for a little while. Glenn has asked me to crochet for his two nieces, Lacey and Darcy, who live up in Scotland, a blanket each, because ever since they've been born I've been crocheting them blankets, and they love them. You know, they don't only wrap up in them, they play with them and all that lot. So, but I normally do granny squares, and fair enough, I know they've had a couple of quilts and that as well, but they seem to love the blankets. So he always said, how do you fancy doing a couple for them for Christmas? Well, yeah, not a problem. You know, I've got so much Stylecraft Special DK weight yarn, and that is ideal for blankets because it just washes well, it wears well, you know, so it's superb really. So and I said, right, okay, let's do something, you know, we'll do something different, not just the granny like I normally do, the granny square. So as you can see, I have a library behind me. I love books, absolutely love books. And I had a flick through of the crochet section that I've got, and I thought, oh, you know, we'll give it a go with this one. So I come across this book. To be honest with you, I can't even remember buying it, but I did because I've still got the price on the back. And it's I know it's called Great New Ways with Granny Squares. I know the granny square is actually mentioned, and it is from Search Press, I will say. And it's actually done in seasons, which is really good. The one thing I will say though about this book is it's very well written. The patterns are very well written because you do have the terminology like the key, and then you have the English and the US stitch written, which is very good. You don't often find that, you know, in patterns and books, but it is graphs. Okay, I love following crochet graphs. You know, it's just I find it easier for me to look at a picture with a graph than it is to keep on reading the words. But I will say now I started this, was it Thursday or Friday? It could have even been over the weekend actually. It could have even been Saturday, to be honest. Yeah, it must have been Saturday because Glenn was off. And I've already got the pattern in my head. I don't even have to look at the book now anyway. So, but what I do know is I'm doing 2 blankets and I need 77 squares for each blanket. And they're 6 inches finished, so they're a nice size. So I think it's going to work out well. Now, I will show you this picture. Now, this is the picture of the one that I'm doing. But what I'm doing with mine is, because, you know, they are little girls. They're at primary school. So they need nice, light, nice, bright colours, in my opinion. I know I've got a couple of darks in there. But, you know, you need to have the balance. So let's see if I can get, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, well, I've done 12 already, so that's not too bad. So out of the 77 for each blanket. Right, let's see if I can hold them up. Ugh. I'll hold them up and then I'll hold one up on its own. But they are what it is at the moment. Okay. Okay, right, let's find a nice one that hopefully was going to show up. Let's go for this one. Right, okay, so this is the actual one of the squares. So let's hang on, let's go green. That's a bit better. Right, that's one of the squares. As I say, easy to do, very, very easy to do. And what I've decided is I'm just going to keep on randomly. I'll show you the bag that I'm working out of at the moment, which I will actually give you the information on this crochet bag as well. This is the yarn, some of the yarn, and this is for the blanket. Okay, now this bag, I am just hopping over to a different subject at the moment really, is from Lucy on Attic 24. I made that absolutely years ago. And I happened to go to the Ali Pali, the Knit and Stitch, many years ago, and her original bag was on a stand. And I turned around and asked the lady for the pattern, and she said, go on to Attic 24. And she has got the most marvellous patterns. I think I've worked out how to do links, so I'm going to link her down below. Okay, for people that hasn't heard of her. Angie and I actually saw her at Yarndale last year. She is one of the organisers for Yarndale, but her blankets and her bags and her patterns in general are just amazing. And I have actually, that's one, the original one is done in an Aran, but I have actually done them in DK weight and then lined them with a fabric and then used them out as shopping bags. Obviously I like to keep this one unlined so I can stretch it, and it's just for my crochet blankets. Right then, now let's get back to this. What I am actually going to do, because if you see actually in the pattern, they have done all the edging the same and all the joins the same. Where because I wanted it all, you know, multicoloured and very bright and rainbowy, I am going to do all the squares as try and do them as tonal, like light dark, or I have actually got, here we go, there's a dark light. So I'm just going to be randomly, you know, picking them out of the bag as I go with the 2 shades, and just, you know, crochet them away and so on. But I've come up with the idea, because I've got more of this yarn than, oh, let's get down here, in my yarn down bag from last year. This is for the joining and the border, and I thought that what I would do, I don't understand why I've got so much of this, but I have, is the silver. Okay, because I thought joining them with the silver, because as a quilter you will know that grey blends, so this will actually should blend in with all the colours. So I'm going to join it together with that, and then what I'll do is, because it has got quite a border, if you notice here, that's got quite a border, so the first row or the first 2 rows I'm going to do with the silver, and then, and this one is called a cloud blue, I thought it was, I have got 3 of these, and then I will just do the rest of the border in those on the 2 blankets. So the only difference they're going to have is when I put them together, I'm just going to be randomly putting them together. I'm not going to match the 2 with the same, like the yellow here, red, blah blah blah, you know what I mean. I'm just going to randomly put them together and then join them both with the silver, and then do the blue with the border, and then, you know, they can just play with them and do what they want with them when they get them. So I'm glad I've decided to start it now, as I say, because I've got 2 to do before December, and they have got to be posted up to Scotland within the time as well. So, but as you can see, it's, you know, it is quite good. It is growing quite quickly. So the way I look at it is, I've already got over a row done. So that's the way I think, because 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So it is a 7 by 11. And of course it is. You know, I've definitely got over a row done. Nearly got 2 rows done actually. So yeah, hopefully it will work out okay. But what I will probably do is get one completely done and then start on the other one. I'm thinking I might do it that way. But, you know, I will keep you informed on what's on how it's growing, because what I might do is start putting a couple of rows together and seeing what they do look like with the grey, the silver, a yarn, and so on. So yeah, I'm really enjoying making that. Let's put you there, and it's nice in the evening just to pick up a hook, because as I say, I haven't done a bit of crochet for a while now, so it's nice just to pick it up, and then I can just do a couple of 3 squares at night, and then, you know, add them to the pile. So they'll soon grow. Also, I have started a new cross stitch. Now, if you remember in December for Christmas, Glenn got me the new the hands-on designs one of the chalkboard collection. Now, patterns. I will show you. This is where Kathy has collaborated with. Oh no, my mind's gone blank. Oh, hold on, sorry. I'll take it out of here anyway so you can see it better. I'm going to say something else, but it's not the right one. Oh yeah, Priscilla from, oh my gosh, it's having a daughter does a podcast. Oh well, I'll have to put it. Yeah, I will. She hasn't actually mentioned it. Sure, but Priscilla Blaine. I know it's Priscilla Blaine, but I was going to mention her podcast. Well, I'll put it down on the screen anyway. And yet again, as you know, I love my hands-on design. So this is the cross stitch, and you also get this one in there as well. Oh, Stitching with the Housewives, I think it is, something like that. Anyway, yeah. So I thought, oh well, I'm going to start a big one and give it a go. And let's have a look. I haven't stuck to all the named threads. You know, they do give for DMC as well as a hand dyed, but I always use the DMC. And but obviously with this, you know, some of them I know I've got quite a big collection, but some of them I haven't got, so I'm using alternatives. Okay, so this is my progress. I've got the chicken done. I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. Let's see if I can put something behind that so you can see it. That's better. Look at that. I'm absolutely loving this. And I'm doing it in the afternoon. You know, it's my afternoon sitting down, watching a couple of podcasts and getting out the cross stitch. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Now, what I will say, this actually Ada, Glenn got me as well for Christmas, and he got it for me. It's a 14 count, and he got it for me from the Lakeside Needlecraft in the UK. Now, it's a massive piece. It was a 50 centimeters by 65, and as you can see, I've only used a little bit, so I've got quite a bit to use up other bits. It's the equivalent of, because it's not black, it's the equivalent of a DMC 3799. It's like a chalkboard, basically. It's not dark grey, but it's not jet black. It's in between. And now when I've actually worked on a dark fabric before with cross stitch, like I've done it on navy and I have done black before, a lot of people seem shy from it. Now this one I am finding quite easy to sew on, actually, to see the holes. You know, it is really easy. But what I will say as a little tip is, if you get like a white pillowcase or a white towel, put it on your lap and then put the actual piece that you're working on, you know, obviously if you frame or if you work stitch in hand, on top of that, the white will show through the holes. And I find when I actually did the black and the navy years ago, that is how I did it. I put a white pillowcase underneath across my lap, and then, because I hoop mine, and then put the hoop over the top, and the white show through the hole, so you can see it a lot better. So that is just a little tip really on you know, on how to actually work on a darker fabric. Just in case anybody is curious, if you notice, I have got this. Now I made this, there is tutorials online. It's called a frame. Oh, I'm gonna have to put that down there because I haven't written that in my book either. Damn. Right, yeah, but you know, a lot of them will do it for this will actually fit on a square hoop. Really? A square frame, as well as the, you know, the round, and it just keeps it nice and tidy. And I know that I've got my clips underneath there, but it just keeps them all nice and tidy and out the way. And I thought, well, this is quite a big piece of Ada. Also, another tip that I use is with a dark piece like this, I will get just a piece of fabric, a fat quarter or anything, even a pillowcase, and when I'm not working on it, I do cover it up, because obviously with you know, just to keep away from the dust and dirt and yeah, you know, and just to protect it really while you're not working on it. So that sits downstairs like so. And as I say, I have been using some of the called for threads, but some of them I don't have, so I have just gone through my stash and found an equivalent, and it seems to be working okay. Right then, so they are my works in progress. Okay, now we will go into what I've got planned. Okay, there's a couple of projects, because I've had as I've told you, I've had something in the background going on, and you know, it had to really be sorted by the end of next month, where I'm well ahead of everything all being done. And so now I have put it, you know, as all away being ready to go off. So I'm now going to pick up some bits and bobs that I thought, well, you know, I'm going to give it a go. Right then, I'm going to try and do a bit more of my dressmaking. Now, it was in, can't remember, I don't think it was in my Vlogmas. It was in one of my videos where I'd been into my big charity shop and I found this piece of fabric. Massive big piece of fabric, and it is actually 60 inches wide and it's 2.5 yards, and it was only £4.50. It feels, I know I can actually test it, you know, because to see exactly what the content is, but it feels like a cotton. Anyway, it does, it feels very lightweight. So I've got to wash it, so I'm going to do that in after I finish recording this. I'm going to put it in the machine on a light wash because it's beautiful outside, and put it out on the line and get it all dried. And then while that is out on the line drying, I've been through my pattern stash, and I haven't made this one before, and it really, I don't know, I think it's going to work. And I love this pattern, and it's one of the new simplicities, and it's 8910. I am going to do the short sleeved, the little cap sleeve version, and obviously shorter because I'm a shorty. So I'll have to shorten it definitely. And yeah, because I like short sleeved because I think they're more practical, because then if you're colder you put a cardigan on and so on. I think with long sleeves you're a bit more limited. Now I have looked roughly, and it does say here 3 yards. Oh no, that's not that one. Yeah, 3 yards, and I say I've got 2.5, but me length has got to be reduced, and as you know, you can quite easily fudge your pattern. I have had a look, and the actual neck is just binding, and it looks like the pattern piece is in one piece, where I'll just do it in two, and I'll do a join at the back and the front. And you know, I, as a dressmaker, as you will know as well, you can fudge these patterns and get it out of your fabric. So yes, I am actually really looking forward to this, and it's got pockets. I like my pockets. Actually, I could even do the lining of the inside of the pockets is different. I can work it all out. But yes, so I am going to make this. I don't normally wear colours like this, so I'm hoping it will be okay. But you know, just something to potter around in, and it looks very comfortable, and that will be nice and airy and everything for the summer. So I'm going to get that in the machine and on the line. So that is what I'm going to start. So while that's actually, I say, on the line, I'm going to be tracing out my pattern pieces and getting them cut. And I might see if I can actually get it cut out tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Also, as you know, I love my scrappy garments. I've made 2 cardigans, haven't I? Yes, I have. 2 made wells from Hooky Hockatelli. I can never say that right, bless. And I've made the a short sleeve version of a jumper that I can't remember. So anyway, I have, as you can probably tell, been collecting all my scrappy bits. So this time I am planning on, which actually will go quite nice with the style of the dress, because this has got a shape as well. And it is the long line cardigan by Hooky Hockatelli, and I am going to be doing that as a scrappy. I don't know if, oh, I can't show that one. I don't know if there was going to be another picture that I could actually show for you. There is the graph at the back. Let's have a look. Oh, here you go. And as I said, you know, it's got a bit of it's got the curve, and I think that will actually go right nice with that cardigan, with that dress. So I'm going to get this on the needles and do a scrappy I love my scrappies. Do a scrappy cardigan, longer cardigan, and so it will go with the new dress, and it will probably be something like my other cardigans. I live in them. I absolutely love them. Right, so that is all my work in my stuff that I'm going to start, my work in progress. Right then, okay, let's get to the birthday presents, shall we? Oh, I was so spoiled, I really was. So I will put a picture in here And that is the picture that I did put on Instagram and my Facebook page of the presents that I've received. And my friends at work have said, obviously, when we all go back to work, that they're going to do something special for me as well, which will be really nice. And also, I've got contacted by a lovely friend saying I've got something coming in the post, so I can't wait for that. Yeah. So what I will say, we will start, shall we? As I've mentioned with the cross stitch, with the patchwork rabbit, which is where I get my patterns from, when you actually join their company for ordering and that lot, if you give over your details and your date of birth, they send you a birthday present, which I thought was really lovely. And I have kept, where is it? I just had it here a minute ago. That's the cross stitch. Oh dear. Oh, there it is. So I had so much on this counter, it was unbelievable. And I got in the post, which was so nice, this little handmade strawberry, and it is a handmade strawberry. I've kept all the details, and it's a strawberry needle cleaner. I've actually put it on my scissors as well, so then when I'm actually they're both together, so if I need to actually clean my needles or sharpen my needles, I'll just pop it in and out, and so it's got kind of two uses. But I just think that is beautiful. So that was my little birthday present from them, and it's the strawberry needle cleaner, handmade by Rachel Doyle. Emery filled to keep your needles clean and sharp. So there's the oh, let's take it out of there. So I kept this so I could show you. This came on it. Ooh. There we go. And so yeah, Rachel Doyle. I just thought that was so nice. It is beautiful. So that goes with my cross stitch stuff. Okay, where do we start? Also, as I said at the beginning, you'll see the photographs of you know, my canvas that I got, and Glenn also got me, which I did ask for, this book, The Golden Fleece by Esther Rutter. It is brilliant. I'm really enjoying this book. You learn a lot from it. You really do. And when it came out last year, I was you know, I thought, oh yeah, I really like this. So I said to Glenn, I said, you know, could you get it for me for my birthday? And I'm glad he did. Also, I'm just going to diverse a little bit, is on YouTube as well as a podcast. There is this lovely lady called Miranda, and she is tea and tattle on both podcast and on the YouTube channel. And she does interview women authors, you know, for about their books, and she loves her books, really do love her books. And she actually has got an interview with Esther, and how Esther actually came to, you know, to doing all this, and it's so interesting. I have been following Miranda for a little while now, and I actually found out about her from my friend Teresa. And you know, Teresa will definitely probably, you know, agree with me. She really is, Miranda is a lovely lady. She really is, and so knowledgeable when it comes to books. So I would definitely recommend, you know, going to find this interview. And also for quilters out there, she also has interviewed Lucy, to do with Lucy Boston, because Lucy Boston, obviously, who's done, excuse me, let me see if I can find my copy. Is it there? Yeah, there it is. Lucy Boston, the patchwork of the crosses. Now I've had this, and I've got all the templates and everything ready to do it. And you know, I got this when it came out, you know, because I just think the history behind this quilt is absolutely amazing. But Lucy is actually was actually a children's author as well, and I'm actually reading one of her books as well. So, you know, and to say Miranda, she does a piece on this as well. So very interesting. I would definitely go over and have a see at Miranda, and it's Tea and Tattle. Right then, that was a bit of a what's it, weren't it, just for a book, but okay, so I got this book. And also I will say, let's have a look. Right, let's get that one there. Let's get that there. There. Oh, and that, yes, that's all together. So now I can use all these. And as you all know, my lovely friend Angie, she made me a project bag. Look at that, little workroom crafts. And on here, my name. It's so cool. She's got one of those big posh embroidery machines, and she's so clever. And she knows I love my cats as well as my sheep. So it is a cat theme, I will say, but this fabric is absolutely amazing. And her project bag is inside. Ooh, there is a pocket, because we all love our pockets. And, oh, I just can't wait to use this. I really can't. And also, she got me from Ellie from Craft House Magic the last Christmas bundle. Now this is actually 85% merino, superwash merino, and 15% nip. Now I've been wanting to knit a pair of socks with this little flecky bit in it for so long. So yeah, now I've got to decide. I think I'm heading towards the blue, but I might do, I don't know, I'm going to have a play and see what I can do. So I can do my heel, toes and cuffs. I just can't wait to cast this on. Also, she got me, as I say, there's the cat theme from Ellie again, is, let me see if I can find, have I got, oh yeah. Let's see if I can put that behind that, that's a bit better. Cat stitch markers and progress keeper. I think they're beautiful, so I can't wait to get those on my project. Oh, it's going to be so excited. And Ellie always put in a little extra. This one is Show Me Heaven. It's very pretty, actually. That is going to go in my cardigan, so I'm going to put that there. That's going to go right in my cardigan. And then Ellie, bless her heart, she got me, sent in an extra from her, which I thought was absolutely lovely of her. And this is the La Isla Bonita. They're all 80 themed, is her yarn. Now this is a superwash nylon. Now this one, I'm thinking this is a DK. I've never actually knitted with a hand dyed DK, so this is going to be so much fun. So, and it's beautiful. I think it's a DK. Yeah, I think it is. But yeah, oh, beautiful. Look at the colours in that. Absolutely gorgeous. And they're all the turquoises and the blues, and oh, absolutely beautiful. Then she got me, which I've got my little pennant out. She sent me her badge, look. So this one is Hey Barbara, because we all do the Barbara's Day Out, which is so much fun. And this one is her Craft House Magic. So she sent me her pins, and so they're on my pennant. And oh, I just love them. I really, really love them. And I also got from my lovely friend Viv from Sit and Knit with Vivett. She is, that's her podcast, and oh dear, I can't remember. Oh, it's here. Her Etsy. Oh, that's it. Her Etsy shop is Betty Arthur Creations, and she made me one of her stitch markers. I have one of these, and I did actually use my other one of these on my other sock, the socks I've just made. They are so good because there's no catching. They're light, very lightweight, but she's so clever, so clever. So I absolutely love this. And from Ellie at Craft House Magic, there's her little card as well. So yeah, you know, I think that is, I was saying, obviously I got my beautiful teapot, and oh, and Rebecca got me a massive bar of Oreo chocolate because I do love my Oreos. And I'm trying to think. Yep. So yeah, I think that is everything. So I was spoiled rotten, absolutely spoiled rotten. So I'd like to say thank you so much to everybody for cards, presents, and the messages. The messages meant so much. Thank you. Now, in my last one, my last podcast, I did say that because obviously I can't get to charity shops these days, and I'm so missing them. I really am. I would talk about stuff that I've brought from charity shops over the years. Now I've got, because I've actually done a bit of crochet, I also love crocheting doilies and that with the cottons, you know, the very fine cotton threads and that, and I've been doing that for absolutely years. I remember making one of the big tablecloths when I was at primary school. So, and yet again, it's all graph work, which I absolutely love. But I have actually been through, I've got a special folder. Ooh, these are so delicate. And I will say, what I love about these is the adverts. Unfortunately, none of them are dated, but when it comes to the adverts, I think we can work out roughly the prices. Right, I'll show this one first. This one, yeah, this one is a charity shop find. But look at that. It is literally just like an old newspaper, but it is a crochet magazine. And is it this one? Oh, here. Because unfortunately the front cover, when I brought it, it was already detached. But it's the adverts. Look at these adverts. I just think these are amazing. And it's got here at this top one here. Just what I wanted. Jack always appreciates a cozy muffler or a soft, warm pair of gloves or mittens. When made with Payton's. Now, we can still get Payton's these days. Payton's wool. See for yourself. Begin some work for him today. But be sure it's made with Payton's. Remember, wool is growing scarce. Order supplies at once. So it's got to be around. I wouldn't, when it comes to the pictures, I can't see it being the Second World War. I'm thinking it's the first. Definitely round about the First World War. And it's got here, you know, it's even got it's from Manchester. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Knitting book on how to knit soldiers and sailors comforts. Send for 3D, which is the old money, in stamps. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But as I say, look at the way she's dressed. I really do think it's definitely got to be the First World War. And I just love these. I was so lucky to find these in a charity shop. Let me see if I can find it, because this one is so delicate. Ooh. You know, this is the, you know, how they crocheted the neck curtains and so on. That's the first one. This one here. Now I paid 50p. How, you know, for in a charity shop, and I think this one has got to be roughly about the same era when it comes to the adverts, because that's what I'm going by, is the way people are dressed. If you notice here, you know, the little girl and the lady in the adverts, I think this has got to be around about the same oh, here we go, oops, the same era. And yet again here we've got knitting wool for soldiers and sailors comforts. So, you know, they all seem to be advertising roundabout for the sailors. And also here, which I thought was very good, is threads, embroidery threads. There's an advert there for the embroidery threads. Let's have a look and see if I can find the work in them. It is amazing. This one is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at that rose. That is a form of, that's what they call filet crochet, and it is I love it, absolutely love it. I've got some a big piece down at home, which has got a teapot and all that on it, downstairs I mean, which I absolutely loved making. I really did. Is there anything in here more when it comes to, here we go, what we got here in this, the witchery of stitchery. Where is that? There it is. The witchery of stitchery. I just think it's amazing. I do. Oh, look at this. I think this is brilliant. A lady's crocheted hat. I just think that is just amazing, absolutely amazing. So as I say, very delicate with those two. Now this one is my friend Debbie, that you've heard me mention quite a few times at work. I think it was when her grandma passed and they were sorting out some stuff, and she brought this in for me because she knew that I did collect bits. And yet again, it's another practical crochet, and it's, as I say, all around about the same time I'm thinking. Now this here, it's got here pincushion cover, okay? So, and I thought, well, you know, Debbie gave it to me, bless her. So what I did that year is I crocheted that piece up and made it for her for a Christmas present. So she had a little bit back from what, you know, from her grandma's crochet. And well, I thought it was going to be a pincushion, but it was a pincushion. So we actually think it was more for hat pins rather than what we think are sewing pins. I automatically thought it was sewing pins. But, you know, I carried on making it and I gave it to her. And I said, it actually says in the magazine that you gave me that it's a pin cushion. And that's when she said, but perhaps it was a hat pin. And luckily she collects hat pins, so she puts them in there. So it all worked out fine in the end. And yet again in here, children's powder for children cutting their teeth, prevent convulsions. Oh yeah, are cooling and soothing, contain nothing injurious to a tender babe. Oh wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? As I say, the adverts just fascinate me, absolutely fascinate me. Perhaps if I did actually look into more on the advert side of it, I might find dates. But this is the this is the pattern that I followed for the pincushion. And here we've got Sirdar mentioned now. Everybody knows Sirdar. And Cocoth North knitting wool. I don't know what that is. Never heard of that one before. But it's just the way they're dressed. I am thinking it's they are, I think, more to do with the First World War than the Second World War, especially the ones for the sailors and the soldiers, you know, knitting for those. Now this one is a later edition. It's still old, but as you see, it's colour, and the paper is a bit more substantial when it comes to the covers. You've still got the fashion, but you can see it's moved on a bit. Now in this one, you've got wool rug, so we've gone on to wool rugging now. Wow, it's just so fascinating. I absolutely love it. I really do. And the patterns in them, yet again, as you can see, there's all different kinds of bits to do. I remember getting these flower like template things in little plastic when I was a kid, a set of those for Christmas. So it's marvelous how things are still you know, being used. just updated really, aren't they? But what's this one? Oh my gosh, look at her wedding dress. Look at her wedding dress there. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Beautiful. Hairdressing. 35 styles told in pictures. It's just, I don't know, I just love it. So they are my really old ones. Now I have found as well, which I've brought 10p each, look, because I just love them, and they're old mittens and glove patterns. But in this, was it this one? I've just got to show you this, and then we will go on to something else. So I could sit here and talk about this for hours, and you'll get all bored. Oh, what one was it? It might not have been this one, actually. No, it must have been this one. Yeah, look at these. This is oh, yet again a wall craft, and look at all the different socks. The mittens. This one absolutely fascinated me. Right then, okay. If you look here at letter C. Now, when I read letter C, it was fascinating. Letter C is ladies' knickers. Now, would we really want to knit our knickers these days? But I just think that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I really do. There's a lady's vest. Yeah. Man's underpants. Oh, what's that one? P. No. J. What are we under? Yes, it's those. It's those. It's brilliant. I really, really do. And oh, look at this. Look. And there's the whole page dedicated to little ones. So, but yeah, you know, I love looking through these. This is a more of an updated version. So this was 1 and 6. This was 9D, which is old 9 pennies, and this is 1 and 6. So I'm not actually thingy with the old money. I was born, but you know, I didn't get a chance to use any of it. But this obviously is an updated, more of an updated version, because you can tell by the quality of the paper and the way that it's put together. These two here I've just got out is just two old, this is yet again, I think that's gorgeous, filet crochet, and I do have quite a few more of these sort of ones that are old, but I do just love my these ones. I just think these are just so beautiful and delicate, and as I say, when it comes to the adverts, they're just amazing what's inside them. And I do feel very privileged that I able to find them in the charity shop, and say Debbie gave me one, and I store them away, and they don't often come out at all really. So yeah, I just, so they're basically whatever I find with history to it when it comes to craft, I do I do keep, and you know, hopefully, you know, when anything happens to me, then my daughter will keep them the same, you know, and she will actually find them interesting. So I think when we look around, have I missed anything? I've made a mess of the floor as we all do when we're podcasting. So let's just quickly check my notes. No, I've talked about that. Oh, one more thing, actually. I have had a message from a Rachel. Hi, Rachel. To see if I could do just a little demo on the embroidery that I did. I know I've done a couple, but this is my main piece from the Lorna Bateman's book. So what I'm going to do is, Rachel, is I'm going to do just a little talk and a little thing on, and set something up, and I'll get it done hopefully soon. I'm not going to say when, because I'm not going to commit myself, but I will do an extra little video just dedicating on Lorna Bateman and her book and so on, because yeah, and then if anybody is interested, they can look at that, you know, at a different time. So I think I'm looking around. I think that is basically everything. So I am going to make a move. I'm going to go downstairs. I've got Diddy, my sourdough loaf, out of the fridge this morning to warm up. So tomorrow I'll be starting the procedure of a loaf. And for, I don't know, it's only 10:25 now. So I will, I fancy cheese scones for lunch. So I'm going to go down and make myself a cheese scone. Marvellous what you could do when you're at home all the time. So, but then again, I am missing my 2 days at work, I will say. But anyway, I hope everybody is staying safe and positive and keeping busy, because obviously, you know, we're all crafters, and so we all find things to do. And I will going to say goodbye now, because this is going to be quite a long one, I think, and I don't normally do that. Right then, okay. So happy crafting. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.